Hello everyone, it's Aaron here from Push Square, and today I have an overview of the all new PlayStation Plus for you today, which is launched in Asia. It's not available yet in Europe or America, however we have access to it here, and it means we can give you a rundown of some of the catalogue, what the menu looks like, the store looks like, some of the games playing, the PS1 games playing, the features that they bring, trophies and all that kind of stuff. So we're just going to run through it here pretty casually, but let's get into it. PlayStation Plus Deluxe is the version we have today, so as a quick disclaimer, that means that streaming isn't available, which means that PS3 games aren't available. So the reason we have that is basically the premium doesn't seem to be available in this region, which replaces it with Deluxe, and that's the only difference to streaming. It's still the highest tier version. Looking here, we've got a rundown of some of the benefits that you'll get from each, and it's got a handy little tag above to explain this one's through Deluxe, that tier, that benefit is extra, essential, and it makes things quite clear for you. I think it's a really good inclusion here. Going into the game catalogue, this is probably the most impressive part of the new PS Plus in my eyes. Extra, I think, offers the best value for money. Looking at that top row there, Miles Morales, Demon's Souls, Ghost of Tsushima, Returnal. All of these games are still pretty expensive when you go to buy them individually at stores or online. So having all of these available to you through the PS Plus tier, the one price, even if it's just 1 month to play all of those games, that's a really good value for money. And obviously that continues as well. As we go down, you see some pretty good selections here, some really recognizable games. Some of these, I will say, were included in the PS Plus collection already, which was a free part of PS Plus prior to this new version. That is still going to be available to people that are on the essential tier, so don't worry that those games are going to be taken away from you. Continuing down, you'll notice that there's quite a few duplicates, and this is just PS4 version, PS5 version. Some other games it's like different versions of the game, so here we have the Final Fantasy, 2 PS4 versions. So just flicking through this, just to give you an idea of some of the games included. It's a decent little selection, I'd say. There we go. And all the way back up to the top, we'll then return to the classic games. As was mentioned, there are no PS3 games here. And what that means is that it's a really, really limited list of games. And quite disappointing, I would say personally. Looking at PSP, PlayStation, PS2, we only have, 17 games? Not a lot of options here. You've got a couple of Jak and Daxter games, Toy Story, 2 Worms games, Abe's Odyssey, Tekken 2, Mr. Driller, Everybody's Golf, Karushi or Intelligent Cube, Ape Escape, Echo Chrome, Jumping Flash, Siphon Filter, and Wild Arms. To anyone worrying, you will be able to play these all on PS4 if you haven't upgraded to a PS5 just yet. These ones in particular are PS4 only, with the rest of these coming down to PS4 and PS5. But yeah, a really limited list, and I would add that we are hoping that this will expand as we go to different regions. When it launches in America or it launches in Europe, we'll let you know, we'll keep you updated, but as is the Asia market is concerned, or the Asia region, these are the games that we have. Going along to game trials, this is the new 2 to 3 hour demos available for some pretty big hitter games. Going into it here, we have Horizon Forbidden West, Cyberpunk 2077, Uncharted, and again, not a whole lot of games here, just 14 with the duplicate of WWE. I'd expect this to expand a whole lot once it is officially launched, as we get more games as well coming along in 2022 and 2023. I'd expect a whole lot more of these to be added, because Sony is really keen for developers to include demos for their games, and I think it's a great way to decide if you're on the fence about it. 2 to 3 hours is a solid amount of time to play a game before you make that final decision to buy it. The game's catalogue is essentially like a genre page. Makes it a little bit, if you're browsing around, you're just not sure what you want to play, this is the place you're going to come to. Then we've got exclusive discounts. Just your usual kind of discounts that you would get with PS Plus. These are the discounts above or boosted beyond the regular sales. And obviously, as we can see, this is a Hong Kong region, so the currency might not match yours. Lastly, you have monthly games, which is just your monthly games, 2 to 3 every month, first Tuesday of the month. Keep an eye out on the channel soon because we'll be updating on the latest version, the latest monthly games coming out. So that is all of the menu, the game, you know, the store of sorts for where you'll be downloading the games. I think it looks pretty nice. I think it's pretty clear as well. So they've done a good job in this aspect. The PlayStation Store has been one of the biggest improvements going to PlayStation 5. But anyway, moving on, we'll jump into one of these games. So this is Intelligent Cube, as we can see here. Just a little puzzle game, which I was already playing before we started, and I've just been crumpled over. So the problem with some of these games I found is that they're a little awkward to control, and part of that supposedly is down to the PAL versions of this, which are the 50Hz versions, a little less responsive. So I've not done too well here, and let's showcase one of the first features, which is the rewind feature. So that allows us to just go all the way back, and there we are. We've rewound to the very beginning of the game, and immediately I've messed it up again. But this is one of the cool aspects of the retro games. I think it's pretty seamless, but it's not the only thing here. We have save states as well, which allow you to, obviously, the usual, the classic, like click and certain saves with your game. But then we have the settings here, which allow us to do visual presets and video aspect ratios. So obviously we've got it by 4:3 for 16:9, but you can set it to the wide stretch zoom, which is very uncomfortable, I would say. And that applies immediately. Doesn't look the best though, does it? So then, let's change this back to a different one. You have, let's just go, the native resolution is going to be a lot smaller. There you are. So just a quick example of that. I'm going to change it back just because it drives me mad. Right, so then we have the visual presets. Now, right now, this is a slightly like sharper looking version. Then you have the retro classic version. And this is just going to give you that sort of VCR look. You've got the lines coming over the sides. So it just is to try and give it that more retro look, something a bit closer to the original. So that's a pretty cool little inclusion there as well. I'm doing absolutely shockingly bad in this game. Anyway, that is one of the games for you. Rewind is a really, really cool and easy to use feature. Really, really seamless. So let's go back out into the home page, and you'll notice down here that we have trophies. So trophies aren't included with every game, but you can expect to find them in some, especially the first party titles. And clicking on this here, they do include platinums, and some of these might be, you know, a lot easier to get than you know, your regular platinums for the more modern games. But this is a nice inclusion. You've got that here for Intelligent Cube, not for Tekken 2 or Toy Story. Worms, let's see, Siphon Filter does have it. So it really is on a case-by-case basis. You're going to have to see the games, explore to see which ones have trophies in the first place. But it's a nice little inclusion for the completionists out there, especially since the trophies weren't actually a thing when PS1, some of these games were out. Having them available now just gives you all the more reason to play them. And that, to be honest, is the majority of this run through. If you want to see some of the PS1 games playing on PS5, we have another video for there. It'll be above you right now. Click on that, check that out as well. We've got some of the games playing on PS5. But that is your PS Plus Deluxe. And as I was saying, the only thing missing here is the PS3 games. And we do expect this to expand in terms of the catalogue, particularly with the classic games, or we're hoping so at least, and we do know that new games will be added every month. So keep an eye out for which games are coming and which games are going, and of course, let us know what you think of this whole setup. Do you think it's looking good? Do you think it's something that you'll purchase yourself? Do you think it's worth the money? I'm personally a little disappointed with that higher tier for the PS1 and 2 and PSP games, but the extra one seems to hit that sweet spot. I think it's got a lot of really good, solid games included there for the price. Let us know down below, and as always, like the video, subscribe to the channel, and keep it right here on Push Square for more PlayStation based news, reviews and guides. I'll see you next time, guys.